Egypt. Focus question. What are some important things to know about Egypt's past and present? Where is it? The Arab Republic of Egypt is in the northern part of the continent of Africa. A small part of Egypt, the Sinai Peninsula, is actually in Asia. The Sinai Peninsula shares its eastern border with Israel and Palestine. To the north of Egypt is the Mediterranean Sea, and to the east is the Red Sea. The country has 2,450 kilometers of coastline. The country of Sudan is to the south of Egypt. To the west is Libya. Cairo, the capital of Egypt, is located in the north along the Nile River. It is one of the largest cities in Africa. Cairo sits in the same site as it did 1,000 years ago. More than 21 million people live there today. Cairo is a mixture of ancient and modern buildings, historic buildings, and mosques, place of worship of Muslims. Stand near other modern buildings. Cairo is also a mixture of bustling city streets and grassy areas. Skyscrapers rise into the sea next to lush greenland because fertile land is so scarce. Some of these areas are used for farming. In other areas, the streets are narrow and crowded. Here, people shop at covered plazas. Tea and coffee houses provide places for people to enjoy local refreshments. People. More than 106 million people live in Egypt. Many people live along the banks of the Nile River, which runs through the eastern part of the country. Many of Egypt's cities and towns are located along the Nile because it provides much of Egypt's water. People use groundwater for cooking, washing, and drinking, and they use river water for irrigating crops. The rest of the country contains mainly deserts and a few mountains. Many farmers grow cotton for Egypt's large textile industry in the fertile land near the Nile. Farmers also grew wheat, rice, corn, beans, fruits, and vegetables. In Egypt's cities, many people work in service industries such as hotels, restaurants, and banks. Tourism is an important part of Egypt's economy. In addition, people work at factories to produce clothes and process food. Most people in Egypt speak some form of Arabic. Some Egyptians are Arabs descended from people who originally lived in the Arabian Peninsula in Asia. The Arabian Peninsula is where Saudi Arabia and several other countries are now located. Other Egyptians are of African descent. Many of these groups have their own language too. Although most people live near the Nile, a few groups live in the deserts. Some Bedouins herd animals in the desert throughout the country. Most Egyptians are Muslims or followers of the religion of Islam. Some Egyptians are Christians. Land. Deserts cover most of Egypt. The Western Desert covers 2/3 of the country. The Eastern Desert covers a smaller part. The even smaller Sinai Desert covers the Sinai Peninsula. All these deserts are part of the Sahara. However, each desert is different. The Western Desert looks like a sea of sand dunes with many sharp rocks. The Eastern Desert has wadis, or beds of seasonal rivers. Wadis fill up with water only after a heavy rain. The Eastern Desert also includes rugged mountains. The Sinai Desert has tall mountains and deep canyons. In all three deserts, green oases can be found. The fertile Nile River Valley lies between the western and eastern deserts. The Nile is the longest river in the world. It flows from south to north and ends at the Mediterranean Sea. Near its mouth, the river spreads out into smaller rivers, forming a triangle of fertile land. This area of land around the river's mouth is the Nile Delta. It is some of the most fertile land in Egypt. The Nile Delta stretches for about 160 kilometers, 100 miles between Cairo and the Mediterranean Sea. In the south of Egypt, the Nile forms a large lake. Lake Niger was created in the 1960s when a dam was built, blocking the flow of the Nile. It is one of the world's largest artificial lakes. History. Egypt is home to one of the world's first civilizations. The Nile provided rich land for ancient Egyptians. As a result, they were among the first people to grow crops and use a plow. For about 3,000 years, 30 different dynasties ruled ancient Egypt. The king of Egypt were called pharaohs. Some ancient Egyptians believed the pharaohs were living gods. During these dynasties, pharaohs built huge stone temples and monuments. Some, such as the pyramids of Giza, are tombs of the pharaohs. Between about 2070 and 1000 BCE, Egypt was one of the great civilizations in the world. A Great Pyramid. The Great Pyramid of Khufu is the largest and oldest of the pyramids of Giza. It is built around 2589 BCE. About 2.3 million blocks of stones were cut and put together to create a giant structure. Branching hallways led into the pyramid. These hallways end in several different rooms, some of which are burial chambers. Over the centuries, several outside forces gained control of Egypt. In 332 BCE, the Emperor Alexander the Great conquered Egypt. He founded the city of Alexandria, which still sits in the northern coast. Egypt was part of the Greek Empire for more than 300 years. In 640 CE, Egypt was conquered by Muslims from the Arabian Peninsula. The Arab Muslims made Fustat, Old Cairo, the capital city. Many Egyptians became Muslims. Some Egyptians remained Christians. In the 15th and 16th centuries, Egypt was part of the Ottoman Empire, an empire that began in what is now Turkey. In the 18th century, France tried to take over Egypt. In response, the British exerted influence in Egypt's government because they did not want France to gain control of Egypt. During World War I, 1914 to 1918, Egypt came fully under the control of the British Empire. Finally, in 1922, Egypt won political independence from Britain. Landmarks. Every year, millions of people visit Egypt to see its ancient landmarks. Some of the most famous ones are the pyramids of Giza. These are located just outside Cairo. The Great Sphinx, a figure made of stone, also sits there. Another popular site is the Valley of the Kings in southern Egypt, near the city of Luxor. Some of Egypt's most famous pharaohs were buried there in more than 60 tombs. Many of the treasures from the tombs were stolen by robbers long ago. The tomb of Tutankhamun still had its treasures when it was discovered in 1922. Many of these amazing treasures now sit in the Egyptian Muslims in Cairo, near the Valley of the Kings or other ruins of great temples built by the pharaohs. Animals. People in Egypt raise many animals such as sheep, goats, donkeys, and water buffalo. Some people also raise and use camels for work. Some wild animals live in the harsh desert environments. Many of them come out only at night when the air is cooler. One desert animal is the fennec, a small fox with large ears. The fennec spends most of its day underground in a burrow. It comes out at night to find food. Many snakes, lizards, and scorpions also live in the deserts. One type of lizard is the spiny-tailed lizard. The ibex, a type of goat, is another desert animal. The Nile and its valley are also home to many kinds of animals. Fish swims in the river, and crocodiles can be found in the southern part of the Nile. Conclusion. Egypt is an amazing country filled with treasures. Both animals and people live in its deserts. The Nile River cuts through the country, dividing the deserts into two parts. It is a source of water and good farmland for millions of people. Millions of tourists visit Egypt each year to learn about this fascinating past and see ancient landmarks. This history, along with the people and animals, makes Egypt a fantastic place to learn about.